This week on the Computer Chronicles, push technology. We'll meet the founder of one of the hottest new push companies, Marimba's Kim Palese. We'll show you the latest from Pointcast, the folks who invented push technology. This is Backweb, another innovative approach to push. One issue with push technology is what to push. We'll look at an intranet solution being used by Seagate. And finally, Netcaster from Netscape, a new web tool that can let you create your own internet channel. Plus, my pick of the week, Music Maker. It's a cool new program from Europe that turns your PC into a digital sound studio. It's all coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro One Software, educational software for young adults.
And by Z Auction, the live online shopping experience.
Additional funding from PC Connection and Mac Connection, the catalog and online superstore with PC and Mac products, toll-free technical support and overnight delivery. And by Windows Magazine, delivering desktop, enterprise and internet computing news, reviews, features, and how-tos for a Windows world, because the world runs on Windows.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stewart Cheifet. Well, once upon a time, you had to find the information you wanted on the internet. It was like one big digital library, and you had to pull down the right books. But then along came push technology, and it's turning the net into a kind of infinite channel television set in which information and programming comes prepackaged, delivered to your desktop. One of the pioneers in push technology is Marimba and its founder, Kim Palese. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Tell us the story. I understand you were on the original Java team at Sun, and then somehow you migrated over to Marimba. How did this all happen?
Right. Well, by the end of 1995, I'd been on the Java team for a few years, and with 3 other engineers, we started thinking about the next wave of technologies that would be potential on the internet.
Post-browser world?
Exactly. Yeah, what was beyond just the browser. So we decided to leave and form our own company at the beginning of 1996.
All right, but what was the idea? What was the concept behind Marimba and Castanet?
The idea was to make the internet a much more compelling, media-rich, and immediate place to be. In other words, with a browser, you click and you wait and wait and wait, and maybe you get some text about half a minute later. What we wanted to do was allow people to click on a button instantly, be in the middle of an application, whether it was a home banking application or a financial portfolio management application, customized to them with rich multimedia. They wouldn't have to wait for it to download across the net. It would have updated since the last time they used it, and they could even use it offline. So it was kind of the next wave of what would be possible to do.
So that's the whole idea in push, right? You don't sit there and wait and do it in real time, but it automatically gets into your computer, and then you can do it not being online and with much more multimedia stuff.
Exactly.
All right, you have one application up here of using Castanet, which I guess is the product.
Castanet is our product.
And what are we looking at here?
This is the home design network, and this would be used by consumers in conjunction with interior designers and architects. And a consumer like myself, I might want to design the interior of my living room or my kitchen, and I would use this application. I would subscribe by clicking a button on the home to the home design
network. So your
network.
architect has managed to push using Castanet this stuff down to your computer.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
so what could we do with it?
So I just click on the house here, and the first thing it does, it takes me to the kitchen, and I can click on any one of these items here, like the cabinet. Comes up with a little message that says raised panel style cabinetry, gives me some details about it. And the point is that this has updated since the last time, so there's some new designs here that the architect or the interior designer has pushed down to me. They didn't have to spend a lot of money creating a paper catalog and then only being able to ship it once a year. Instead, they can constantly
And you didn't have
update
to
it.
even make a decision or know anything. It's just the latest version is there.
Exactly,
automatically.
exactly. I can also go in and design my living room through this as well. So here, I'm going to go into being able to change my couch design just by clicking on the button. And again, these are updated since the last time I used them. Also, the network knows that I am a certain price bracket. You know, it knows my style preferences. I like
this
classic
has all been
American
customized
design.
to you, customer Kim.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, now I can see the advantage of not doing this online because you couldn't do anything like this quickly online.
On the
But
web.
it kind of looks like we're in some sort of CD-ROM application. What is the advantage of using something like Castanet to do all of this?
Several advantages. One is that you don't have to wait for it to download across the net because it's already there on your hard disk. Also, it's updated since the last time you used it. So it launches instantly, it's updated and changed since the last time you used it. And it's full of rich media because you don't have to download it every time you use it, which means that the designer of this application could put a lot more graphics and animations and what have you, the stuff that always takes so much time to download.
And I take it I don't have to worry about installing software or wondering what platform it's on or any of that garbage, because that just somehow happens automatically.
It's as easy as clicking channels on your television. You never have to install software again. You never have to worry about what a version is or what version you need or any of that.
Why? I mean, what's the secret to that? How do you get away with that?
Because the software is intelligent. It knows what computer you're running on. It knows what version of the operating system you have. And it knows how to do the automatic installation, and it knows to compare when there's been a change and update with the very latest stuff.
It sounds too good to be true. The user can be an idiot, and it actually works, like a telephone system.
It's the way software ought to be.
Speaking of which, there are other ways to use Castanet technology besides just the web and the PC, aren't there?
Right. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of, a range of customers, and one of our customers, for instance, is Ericsson, the phone company, and they're developing a whole new range of devices, including cell phones. And what you're going to be able to do is access services like restaurant guides or stock quotes on your cell phone.
So information would automatically go into some sort of storage device on my phone?
Exactly, and that phone would have a connection to the internet,
That's
wireless.
Really cool. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Sure.
All right, well, we've seen just a tiny bit of what you can do with a tool like Castanet, but in some cases, companies are using Marimba's technology to push down time-critical information to employees in the field. We found one good example at a real estate company in Saratoga, California. Alain Pinnell Realty in Saratoga, California, sells some of the most expensive homes in the country's most expensive housing market. So if clients ask to meet an agent at a sale property, that's where she'll go, notebook, computer in hand. The real estate agents from this office download the newest listings every morning using push technology from Marimba.
As sales professionals, not only want to be able to work at their desks, but they want to be able to work at home and to take all of this information to their clients, wherever that may be, at home, in an office, in a car, to have accurate data that they can pull up minute by minute because it changes, instantaneously and often during the day.
Agents at Alain Pinnell get more than real estate listings updated automatically. Marimba also pushes software applications across the company's intranet. Network administrators can add, delete, and upgrade software through channels to one, some, or all users simultaneously.
When we wanted to update the systems, we had to physically go around to each system and do that, which is very time intensive. And we lose a lot of momentum in doing that. Now we're able to do that automatically from one central site. So that for us is an enormous efficiency factor, and everybody is instantaneously on the same page.
Every time a network user loads an application from the channel, Marimba pushes the latest version automatically, and each user can request particular services, data, or programs.
If you want specific demographic information, if you want specific tax records, if you're a sales professional and you need very specific information about interest rates on a certain day, we have to be able to make sure that the system does that. And I think Push allows for that.
In the same way Ted Turner redefined cable television by sending his local station, WTBS, out to satellites and cable systems around the country, Pointcast redefined the Internet by automatically delivering information to your desktop rather than waiting for you to pull it down. Now Pointcast is set to launch a new improved service, the Pointcast Network 2.0. And Phil, tell us about that. What's going to be different in the new version of Pointcast?
Number of things. First of all, we're going to have a sharp new interface that we think customers will really like. It uses less network bandwidth, and also the file size is smaller, so it takes less time to download.
All right, let's go back for a second. I talked about Pointcast kind of redefining the Internet. I mean, you guys really made the first major breakthrough and said, wait a minute, there's a different way to think about how you can move information. What was that sort of aha?
Well, what we realized was that when people's computers were idle, there was an opportunity there, and there was an opportunity to share information. So what we do is when a customer's computer is not working on a spreadsheet or a word processor, we communicate to them the headlines and other useful information that they really need to know to make smart business decisions.
So instead of just watching toasters fly by, something useful could happen during that dead time.
Absolutely. No need for toasters or
All right,
fish.
so let's take a look at the current version of Pointcast here, and just give us an idea of what I could do with Pointcast. So I'm a guy sitting in my office, I've got my computer up, nothing particular is happening, so Pointcast takes over, and what can I do with it?
Well, here you see our smart screens. This is the CNN smart screen, which is displaying news and information from CNN, and you would see headlines go by. And if you see something that's of interest to you, you can simply click on the headline in the smart screen, and you'll pull up the Pointcast channel viewer.
All right, did CNN pop up because I asked to default to CNN, or Pointcast just puts it up there? How does this happen?
You've selected a number of different channels within Pointcast.
So I'm subscribing to a couple of channels.
You select a number of different channels,
Okay.
and as your computer is not doing other work, it rotates through on the smart screens the channels to which
Okay.
you subscribe. So now we're into the CNN channel, and here's an article on a hotel suite for visually impaired people. And if I were in the hotel industry, this may well be an article that was of interest to me.
So this is like watching CNN only in text, sort of with pictures, huh?
You get text, you get pictures, and it's all delivered directly to your desktop for free.
All right, so on the left there, I can switch channels as if I were watching TV in a sense?
You sure can. So here you've got with CNN, national news, you've got world news. You can also select weather information, company-specific information. Let's take a look at that. So let's say, for example, that I'm in the semiconductor industry and I compete with Intel. Well, here I can go to the company's channel and I can get information on Intel's stock price, the trading volume, and all of these articles about Intel so that I know exactly what they're doing at any point
So
in
there's
time.
a ton of stuff out there, and it's automatically pushing that stuff to me so I can access it when I want it.
Exactly
All
right.
right, I want to ask you to move quickly. You've got a new network coming out there called the College Network,
It's the Pointcast College Network.
and this is a sort of subset with content designed for kids in school. Is that the deal?
Yeah, the Pointcast College Network is specifically designed for people who are in college. We found as we did our research that there are over 14 million college students that are out there. And they're an incredibly wired
And they're all
population.
on the net, sure.
Yeah, 83% of them use the internet regularly. And we thought that, rather than have them get their news from Seinfeld, what other way can we possibly
And of course,
think
it's nice to get advertisers who want to talk to college students.
They're a
right?
very elusive group of people to
Yeah.
get to.
All right, so is this the College Network?
This is the College Network.
So obviously you got music and all this cool stuff that the college students are interested in.
They get all the channels that they would usually get on the Pointcast Business Network, plus college-specific channels. So here, for example, we're looking at the Music Zone channel, and we can see information on a band that I'm interested in, Catherine Wheel, which is making a tour of New Jersey. And University Wire, we might take a look at that channel as well, delivers information to you on 120 different campus newspapers, all this data flowing right to you.
So again, I'm sitting there in my dorm, I'm doing my homework, but I'm working over here, and meanwhile all this stuff is coming out there, and I've got like this television imposed on top of my PC the whole time.
Whether you're looking for campus news, job news, what have you, it's all here delivered for you for
All
free.
right, so that's Pointcast. Thanks a lot.
You bet, thank you.
All right, now one of the big moves to the internet was by major corporations setting up websites as marketing tools for their products. Only problem was you had to surf all over the place to find the information you wanted. Then along came something called backweb, a kind of new approach to pushing information to you and converting you, I guess you'd say, from a surfer to a subscriber. Is that the mentality now?
That's correct, Stuart. You can subscribe basically to any kind of data that's important to you in your daily business. Whether I'm an employee in a corporation or whether I'm a user of the internet subscribing to data that interests me or content that interests me. So what backweb does is it enables you to build essentially your own Pointcast network, either inside of a corporation or outside of a corporation to communicate with customers
All
or
right, so
partners.
I'm the guy who used to just have a website and waited for people to come to me and find it. Now I can push down this channel in the same way we were just looking at on a Pointcast?
Exactly, whether it's an external website or whether it's a website internal to your own company.
So it could be internet or intranet. All right, show us a couple examples of the way people would use backweb, David.
Certainly. So if I'm an internet user,
It's the same idea. It's automatically coming down in the background and it's sending this information out when I'm not otherwise using my computer.
Exactly.
And then when I turn around, lo and behold, all this stuff is here.
That's correct. And the difference, the major difference is we can send down any types of bits and bytes. It can be software, for example. It can be director
So by any
presentations.
type, you mean executables, not just information, not just data.
That's correct. Java applications,
All
executables.
right, so like what's this example here?
For an example, I've subscribed to a channel called the Software Inbox Direct, which delivers to me software which I find useful. Okay, in this case, they've delivered to me a piece of freeware called Shockwave by Macromedia.
So it did it on its own, or I set up some parameters saying this is the kind of stuff I want you to give me?
I specified what I wanted to
Okay.
receive and subscribe to when I subscribe to the channel. And then in the background, anytime I'm online, it's delivering me these rich content.
So you're going to
filled
push more than
info packs.
information. You're actually going to push an application, a plugin, or whatever. down
That's
there.
correct. And once again, whether it's inside a corporation or outside, in this case, I'm an internet user. So I've gotten Shockwave. It gives me a description, gives me, of course, the obligatory license agreement,
Right.
and then allows me to install it.
All right, so
Okay?
what else could I do besides software using the back web technology?
So once I've installed this, here's another example of actually utilizing that software in an internet-based channel. In this case, built by the House of Blues. I'm a blues fan. When I sign up for this channel, I specify that I like Chicago blues. House of Blues delivers to me a serious multimedia presentation. Okay, in the background, I don't even know it's coming to me.
Okay.
When it arrives, I could be in Word, I could be in Excel.
All right, so I'm sort of on an automated mailing list here in a way, right? And this thing is just dumping me the stuff it thinks I'm interested in.
Except it's totally personalized to you. When you
Right.
sign up to the channel, you specify what you are interested in, whether it's in an intranet, if it's marketing or R&D.
So I'm interested in blues music, and so I've got this House of Blues channel, which lets me, what, even sample music or buy music?
Exactly. So in the case of the House of Blues channel, I receive what we call an info flash, which can find me in any active application. So the information has already been delivered to me. It notifies me that I have new information.
All right, so I'm even in the middle of my word processor. A little banner comes up. Well, Backweb just found something new for you. You want to check it out?
Exactly.
Okay.
And in this case, it is a Macromedia shockwave presentation of the top 25
That's a
tributes
coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
to Chicago blues. And this actually allows me to, as you can hear, get a sample of Sonny Boy Williamson.
So much for working.
Right.
All right, show us one more example of another channel, I guess you call these?
Sure.
Everybody's
And,
calling these channels these days.
So this is something fun on the internet when I'm at home.
Okay.
If I'm at work, I've been on the road for the last week over in Israel doing R&D. When I was over there, I actually received from our home channel, from our intranet channel, our marketing status report automatically delivered to me. Okay. Once again, I get a flash. I could be working in any application I normally work in. It tells me, hey, here's this information that's important to you. I can then get updates on product marketing, on our channel production,
Got it.
okay, on trade shows and conferences. And then it actually has sent down to me as well the Word file behind it. And I can save that Word file so that I then know what's going on in my corporation.
All
Makes
right,
me
that's
smarter,
Backweb.
makes me more competitive.
Thanks a lot. All right, well, a lot of press attention on push technology has focused on consumer applications with services like Pointcast, but one of the biggest markets for push is the corporate intranet. That's the target customer for an internet startup called Wayfair Communications, and they convinced Seagate Technologies that push means a lot more than just dumping data.
Seagate is one of the pioneering disk drive companies with factories around the world. From their Scotts Valley headquarters near San Francisco, the company monitors computer networks from Minnesota to China. Seagate Software has added a new tool to its wide area network using a push technology from Wayfair called Incisa.
We're not pushing data around or applications specifically. We are providing real-time, very focused pieces of information to specific groups. And that's why we've actually coined it, the Seagate Narrowcast, because it's very narrowly focused.
Seagate decided to start out by pushing network alerts and announcements, keeping managers informed about malfunctions, repairs, and anomalies. The Incisa administrator can also add or delete people, groups, and regions, as well as determine the speed of delivery.
Well, if you think of different levels of information, some things you only need to know once a day, other things you want to be kept updated on, and there's kind of the red level A priorities that let me know immediately when this happens. So for example, let's say you're in the manufacturing arena and you want to know when your widgets are running low or when they hit a certain number. That can be delivered immediately to your desktop.
Along with sifting priorities, Incisa's smart push approach maintains a constant connection between the server and the client. The user doesn't need to poll the system to look for messages.
Well, if you think of just pushing massive amounts of information at you, you know, it's the proverbial trying to get a drink out of a fire hydrant. What we do is smart push by pushing to you or delivering to you just the information you've asked for to run your piece of the business.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Sarah O'Brien.
Up until now, there have been several separate and proprietary push technology architectures, but now Netscape, the granddaddy of the web browsers, has entered the push arena with Netcaster, which it claims is the first open standards push system that enables any website and any web surfer to play the push game. And I guess, Tim, that's my first question. Is that how Netcaster is different from the other things we've seen? This is standard, as basic as simply a website?
Exactly. What we want to enable to do is, just like any company or any individual can put out their own website, we want them to be able to put out their own channel as well.
All right, so I can now not only have my website, I can have my own channel running under Netcaster.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a look at what the interface looks like. So what's my channels there on the right? What's that mean?
Well, my channels is basically the list of my subscribed channels that I'm having pushed down to my desktop every single day.
So you've picked a dozen or so channels, which are the ones you regularly want to visit, and you can pull those down from a bigger universe of potential channels?
Exactly, exactly. And that's exactly what we have the Channel Finder feature built into Netcaster for, is it provides end users a listing of what's the coolest channels on the internet.
So you've created your channel knob there, if you will, with your 12 main channels. Let's launch one or two and take a look at what these would look like.
Great. The first one that we actually have open here is the Sesame Street channel. And what the Sesame Street channel is basically a coloring book for kids of all some of the exciting...
but every day this would be different, I assume?
Exactly.
Just in the background the day before a new book came down.
Exactly. Two main things. The first thing is you don't have to wait for this to download when you go to the website because it came down in the background. And the second thing is you're subscribed to this and it keeps changing every single day.
All right, so I could, and that's, again, an interactive program. It's dynamic, so I could go on there and paint and do stuff. So it's like a piece of software that's coming to my computer every day.
Very much so.
All right, so let's take a look at another example of a channel. What else could you show us?
Great. Actually, this is an example of the Heckler's Online channel, which is basically a humor channel. A lot of things we can see here is a lot of use of dynamic HTML to provide a really rich user interface. And again...
So what do I do here? This is just sort of fun and jokes and stuff?
Exactly. This is
entertainment.
Very much jokes, humor, things like that coming down.
It's a channel.
But I can actually personalize this as many other channels to get the type of interest that I'm looking for.
All right, so one approach to Netcaster is this channels thing, which we've seen elsewhere, but you have another interesting one, which is called WebTop. Now, what is that? What approach to push is that?
Exactly. So channels provides personalized dynamic content brought to the desktop. Now, what the WebTop does is it provides two main things. One is it provides a piece of real estate for this push content to live into in such an area that it takes over the whole desktop. And two, provides a new interface to launch applications and documents.
So let me understand. Instead of bringing a web browser, let's say, into my desktop, I'm putting my desktop inside a web environment.
Exactly.
All right, show us what that looks like.
Great. This is actually an example of a fictitious WebTop that we've created called Regent. But it takes advantage of both push content, as we can see here, real push information coming in here. I can subscribe to have my personal news stories being brought into the desktop.
But this, in a sense, is my desktop, and then I can launch a word processor or a spreadsheet from within here?
Exactly. If I go into the software section here, I could actually launch, say, Windows Notepad, actually a couple of them in that case. Now, the main thing here is if I actually click in the background here, they're not actually falling behind this application because it is actually the desktop now.
All right, so I can have my own channel, not only my website.
Exactly.
Netcaster. Thanks a lot, Tim.
Thank you.
All right, that's our look at push technology. I'll be back in just a moment with my pick of the week. For some time, we've seen the computer being used to turn music into an interactive experience. There were early simple ventures into user-controlled interactive music with programs featuring artists like Todd Rundgren, Prince, David Bowie, and Peter Gabriel. Some of these early titles let you arrange music or remix music, but now a German company called Magix Entertainment has taken interactive music one step further by bringing the modern technique of sampling to the PC. The program is called Music Maker, and it lets you completely create a song from a collection of over 1,200 CD-quality music samples. All you do is drag and drop a bass line, a drum line, a guitar, and a keyboard, and mix them together. The interface is simple, offering real-time feedback. The music samples are coded by style and rhythm, so it's easy to find combinations that go together and sound like real music, even for a novice. The basic software comes with a variety of styles, from hip-hop to techno to ambient to funk, and once you get good at this, you can buy additional CDs with even more sampled tracks. This is a fun program which is simple to use for the novice, incredibly powerful for the real musician. The software has been a big hit in Europe, and it's now being released in the States. It's called Music Maker from Magix Entertainment. Retail price only $49. That's it for this edition of the Computer Chronicles. We'll be back here again next week with more of the latest in computer and internet technology. I'm Stewart Cheifet. Hope to see you here next time.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro One software, educational software for young adults.
And by Z Auction, the live online shopping experience.
Additional funding from PC Connection and Mac Connection, the catalog and online superstore with PC and Mac products, toll-free technical support and overnight delivery. And by Windows Magazine, delivering desktop, enterprise and internet computing news, reviews, features and how-tos for a Windows world, because the world runs on Windows.
To purchase a videotape copy of today's program, call toll-free 1-888-310-7850. Please specify show number and topic.
Next week on the Computer Chronicles, Cyber Fiction. We'll meet Gary Gawk, author of Writers.net. We'll show you a great example of a new genre called collaborative fiction at the company Therapist. You'll meet James Alsop, publisher of the Alsop Review, and we'll introduce you to Writers on the Net, a website where you can attend a virtual writer's workshop. Plus, comic books are a form of fiction, and we'll show you a cool website featuring cyber comics. And my pick of the week, a new color flatbed scanner for under $100. It's all coming up on the next edition of the Computer Chronicles.